They want our children. That's the bottom line. They want our children. With the current of affairs and everything going on, it's evident that the enemy is after our youth. They're after our children. And we have to do something now to protect them and keep them out of harm's way. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what type of sacrifices you've made and what kind of safeguards you think you've put in place for your children. Your children are still at risk and they're still in danger, perhaps by their own peers. I see almost every day a young man, young boy is getting killed on the streets of Houston, Texas. And I'm sure it's everywhere else, Chicago and New York and California and all those things. But it's really, really, really sad when this is happening with black on black crime. Something has to change, you guys. You know, I get so sick of it. And my heart goes out to the parents when I see parents are on the news crying because they done lost their baby. Their baby just graduated from high school, or they were about to graduate, or they were about to go to college, or they were about to go to the service. They were about to do something productive with their lives, and they're gone. Something has to happen. I'm passionate about it because this same danger came knocking on my door last year with my own son. I didn't tell a lot of people. Only the people closest to me knew about it. But it was one late night. My daughter decided to stay over. That's when she wanted to be under her mother for whatever reason. So she stayed over that night. She has her own place. She stayed over that night. We hung out together. And so we're in the bed and we just kind of dozed off to sleep watching a movie. And then I get this call. And it was my son, and he was in hysteria. He was just all over the place, like, Mama, something's going on. Mama, please, I need you to come get me. I think I've been shot. And I'm like, what? Where are you? So then my mind is racing, and then I enter into fight or flight mode. And my daughter is there, and she enters into fight or flight mode. And we're just trying to get his location so that we can go. Can you imagine getting a call that late at night, not knowing for a child that you've held inside your body for 9 months, for that could possibly be the last night of their lives? Can you imagine that phone call? Can you imagine the phone calls that's going out to the mothers and the fathers right now, and their children are dead? Well, that call came to me, and this came knocking at my door that very night. That very night. And it has to stop. 2 weeks prior, I had a dream about it. See, I've always been this person that God has given me visions and dreams. And sometimes I have premonitions. It could just happen right then. I'll get a premonition and something is about to happen. That's one of the gifts and abilities that God has given to me. So I had a dream 2 weeks prior. It was about 2 weeks, I think. It wasn't very long, but I had a dream. I had a dream and I woke up. I said, hey, are you hanging out with your friend? Are you hanging out with your friend this week? Or are you about to hang out? Yeah, we finna go hang out. I said, y'all need to be careful. I had a dream that somebody was going to be after you guys, and it's not going to be good. So in the dream, I pick up on the vibrations of whether it's going to be peaceful or it's going to be chaos. And in that instance, I didn't feel peace, and it was more chaotic. And if you study anything about dreams and interpretation, you don't never get the full vision. You just get parts of it. So you have to kind of get into your discernment and kind of understand the dream and what really is about to happen. So it wasn't good, and I warned him. I said, hey, y'all got to be careful, watch your surroundings, make sure you don't, make better decisions, make good choices. He said, okay, bet, we're gonna be fine, Mama, just chill out. He's always telling me to chill out because I'm so frantic about him, because I know that my son has this powerful gift and ability within himself. And that's why he has such a hard tug of war going on with him spiritually, that I try to keep him covered and protected the best that I can by myself. And so I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna always be this type of mother, because I love you and I want you to have a long, fulfilling life. So then he goes about his business. Nothing happened 2 weeks ago when I told him this dream, but it happened that night. I got that call. And it just said, wham. See, that's what I feared. I was like, but I prayed. Whenever God give me a vision, I always pray. And I always ask God to step in and turn things around for the good of those who love you. Hallelujah, Lord. And he turned them around because my son and his friend survived something that they could have been killed over. My son's, like I say, my son friend was, I don't know if I said, but he was injured. He was injured very badly, and he was hospitalized for a long time, but he lived. So we thank God for that. And I thank God that my son wasn't even touched, because I pray over my children. I pray over all of them. And I'm going to keep praying over them. And I said all this to say, we have to continue to pray over our children, because they are at risk and they are in danger. Especially if they belong to God. Especially if you've given your children over to God. They've been baptized. They've been Christian, whatever you want to call it. You raised them in church. They know the Lord. Those are the ones especially that the enemy is after. And that's why we have to pray over our children. And I always pray over mine. And I want you guys to continue to pray over yours. Especially the ones that are headed somewhere. You have to keep them covered and protected. And they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it. But we're going to keep protecting them. I wanted to tell this story tonight because I keep seeing things come across my feed, and things are on the news, and I see all these kids getting murdered and killed, and my heart just breaks. It just breaks, and I just cry. And it's like nonstop. And I'm like, I don't understand why it hits me so hard. I guess because I see so much promise in our children, in our youth. I see so much divine humanity in them that it breaks my heart when we lose one of them. It just does. And so this is a call of action for men and women that has grown up in some of the most difficult situations. God has carried you through. He's given you your heart's desire. You're doing well for yourself. Now it's time to reach back and help that young brother that's struggling, or that young sister that's struggling, that needs positive reinforcement and role models in this world so that we can carry them through into the future. If our kids are our future and our kids are being destroyed and taken out, there is no future. There is no hope for tomorrow. We have to do something now. Now is important. And I felt that I needed to make this. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but there was some things going on that prevented me to make this. And I ask God all the time. I say, Lord, I know that there's more I need to be doing. Lord, put me in a position to where I can do more, where I can totally work in my purpose, and that's helping our youth. So I'm in the process of getting there. It's just taking me a little while, but God has already made promises to me, and I know that he's going to fulfill all those promises, but I just have to stay disciplined, and I have to work hard and keep focused and not being distracted. That's why a lot of things I don't allow in my life, because I know what's coming. I see what's coming, and I have to be prepared, and I have to prepare my own family. And I wish to share this with you guys, because our youth is my passion. It's what my purpose is. You know, I wish I would have had somebody that would have reached back and helped me when I needed it, and when my friends needed it, and when their brothers needed it, and so forth. And so I want to reach back and help a young brother or a young sister out, to help them know that they can make it through the most impossible, it could seem impossible situations. God can bring us through, and their lives can be testimonies just like mine. So I said all this to say is that, yes, death came knocking at my door one night last year. God had already showed me. So when he showed me, I prayed about it. And because of that prayer, I really do believe it kept my son and his friend alive. We have to be connected with our children. I'm not saying that we have to walk around in fear all the time, but we have to know that danger is lurking and it's out there, and we need to pray over our children, and we need to get them to pray, and we need them to have to read their Bible, to study the word, to go to church, to hear the words of God, because that gives us food and the power that we need to make it through this dark world. So I said all this because I want you guys to understand that there is great danger out there for our children. We need to be aware of it. Just like it knocked on my door last year, it can knock on your door this year or tomorrow or the next month or whenever. We have to stay equipped and prepared. And we can't do that as adults if we are distracted. The enemy knows our weaknesses, and he wishes to distract us. He already knows if we stay focused and we keep our eyes on God, that we will reach our goals and we will fulfill our purpose. But if he can bring that one thing in your life to distract you, to bring you off your purpose, he don't necessarily have to want you. He wants your children. He wants the youth. If you're distracted, your youth are not covered. You're not praying over them. You're not watching after them. You're so caught up in this distraction, whatever it may be, that you're missing it. We are missing it as parents. And it's time for us to wake up out of this dream world that we're in, this delusion, and start really seeing life for what it is. And we are responsible. When we bring children in this world, we are responsible to carry them through so that they can be better, a better humanity, to live better lives, to leave bigger legacies, to carry this thing forward. And it's going to take supernatural power to get there, I'm telling you. But we can do it. If we come together and unite, we can do it and we can make this happen. There's so much more I wish to say, but I'm going to let this go. It's been almost 12 minutes. I don't like to stay on long like some people go on forever. But I felt like it was an important topic. My heart breaks for all the young men that are being murdered in the street by their own peers. Girls too. Girls are fighting. They're getting murdered too. This has to stop. This just has to stop. And it's something we need to do about it. Okay, I'm done with you guys. Again, my name is Marion. I'm with Restoring Ghettos Forgotten, and I want us to understand that same danger that came knocking at my door last year for my son and his friend is the same danger that's knocking on other parents' doors right now. But they didn't get the news. They didn't get the best outcome like I did and like my son's friend did. They didn't get that. Their parents are actually having to bury these beautiful young men and women, and it has to stop. And it starts with us because we created them as parents. It's our responsibilities to come together and not forget we are accountable for them. And we need to change some of our ways so that we can show them a better way. And no matter, not every child that go out there and do something wrong means that their parents did something wrong. Some people do everything right, but our kids still can go astray. But that's why we got to keep them, pray over your children, pray over yourself, pray over your community, so that we can make it through this dark time, y'all. I love y'all. Take care of yourself. Always remember to love yourself, love God, love yourself, and love others. If you choose not to love others, at least don't hurt them. Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.